BSSS Rhythm, BSSS Rhythm, BSSS Rhythm.
Hello everyone, I am very excited to welcome you all to BSS Rhythm podcast. And today with me I have an international guest. I have with me Professor Tomaz, Faculty of Education at University of Primorska from Slovenia. Welcome Professor Tomaz.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here with you.
Thank you so much. So you're from the Faculty of Education, and that wishes me to ask, what is the scenario of education overall?
Yes.
As a professor of education, if you could answer, what is the stark difference between education in the Western world and in India?
Yes, so first of all, I would say that this is what I say to my students and also to broader audience in Slovenia, that to be a teacher is the most important occupation you can have. Why? Why would that be so? Well, for two reasons. First of all, other occupations are very important, like for instance, policemen, lawyers, healthcare workers, and so on. But they have to be taught in order to be policemen, healthcare workers, and so on. So teachers make all of the other professions. So if other professions are important, then teachers are so much more important. That's number one. But let's not forget this general aim of education. General aim of education is not just, to produce a certain HR person or to produce, a specific occupation, but it means to help somebody to become a human being. This is the most important goal of education, and in this sense, teachers and educators help others to become human beings, and that's why this is such an important occupation. Now, global trends are shifting. I think we live in very precarious times.
Absolutely.
We are facing climate change. We are facing digital technologies with all of their benefits, but also dangers. So what I'm seeing is that basically those issues that are springing up in Slovenia and in Europe are also present here. So I think there are many things in common in this area, but there are also some things which I think are important for us to learn about the Indian school system, and this is the emphasis on society, on the community, this community-based approach. Something that we really like are the assemblies in schools, where every pupil has a chance to feel what it means to be a part of this bigger school, and this is definitely something I would like to advocate also at our faculty, so that students would have this sense of belonging. Because
it's so nice to know this. And the first half, the way you defined education, it is exactly how Indian philosophers have defined it.
You see, yeah.
The human being, the human aspect. Just now we celebrated the Youth Day. This is celebrated on account of Vivekananda. So it is his philosophy that you bring out the best.
Yes.
So when you talk about these things, it talks about the Indian knowledge system. And in India, teacher is considered to be the guru. So guru is the highest. And guru is considered to be the supreme. So we really appreciate that you carrying a bit of India. And here I would like to tell the viewers that faculties from there have come under the Erasmus Plus project. Would you like to share something on it, so that our students start dreaming about, of student exchange and faculty exchange under this scheme, Erasmus Plus?
Yes, so first thing that I would like to emphasize is how important this exchange is, Until you don't leave your country and jump into other cultural frameworks, you do not know what you have at home.
Right.
Because only when you are faced with the difference, you start recognizing yourself as well. So it's very important to use the opportunity if you have it, and try to go abroad and, of course, see how things are done differently there, and take what is good, be critical of what is maybe not so good, and try to improve that at home. And Erasmus Plus is a very nice program that enables a teaching staff, that also enables the administrative staff, but the most important thing is that it enables also students to go on the exchange visits. And one of our missions why we are here is also to hopefully initiate a students exchange between
program.
BSSS and our faculty.
Like we call India to be a land of cultures, and you know, likewise these students should also be introduced to the cultures abroad, so that you know, you appreciate your own culture as well as understand the diversity abroad. So we really look forward that there are some beneficiaries from this Erasmus Plus project, so that our students really benefit by going abroad and bring the best values from there. Likewise, you also said that you know, we have to take the best from one's country, leave what is not good. So you've been in India, I think, prior also, but in this visit also. So what is best about India?
The best thing is definitely, I would say, well, of course, hospitality.
Okay.
It's an amazing hospitality. Another thing that I really think you should start being aware of, even, I'm sure you are, but even more, especially, you know, if you contrast this with maybe European settings, is emphasis on culture. For instance, today we had this meeting between different partners and BSSS, different institutions that work together, and a lot of people quoted somebody, you know, like, I don't know whether it's Ambedkar or Gandhi or somebody, you know, and this is very important. And I see this in India a lot, you know, this idea of values, of culture, this broadness. So do not make a mistake of reducing education or reducing occupations just to this narrow instrumentalist money making or profit making.
Commercial aspect of education.
Exactly. Don't do this. I think you should really preserve this cultural broadness that you have. One thing that's really very is amazing actually, and I think India is, I'm convinced, the best country. I've traveled a lot, you know, in very different countries, but this is my third time in India. I love it here.
So happy that we are Indians and we believe in this, you know, the tradition of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, which talks about, you know, the unifying factor, the inclusivity. So, like you spoke about the assembly gives that unique feeling, yes, I am part of the bigger family. And I'm surprised to know that these assemblies are not happening in Slovenia.
Yeah.
So this is something you should really start, because it will bring about a culture wherein I will feel that yes, I am a part of oneness, togetherness.
You know,
that's
there
really
is
nice.
a very nice quote out of Upanishads. I don't know which one, Birhadaranyaka or someone, I forget now, but it's a very nice quote. It says that, you know, each and every person is like a little spark from a bigger fire. So in this, you know, Atman, Brahman, we are all a part of one bigger whole. And this sense of community is very important. But on the other hand, you know, why I like this typically Indian approach is the following, because on the other hand, you don't have this totalitarian pressure that everybody should be the same, you know, because this can easily tip over, you know. In totalitarian regimes, you know, like in Europe is famous, unfortunately infamous for its fascism, communism and so on, there you did have this idea of community, but it wasn't an inclusive community. And this what is, I'm saying, special about India, that it's inclusive, you know. It's not totalitarian saying, yeah, you are a part of community, but you have to be like this, like this, like this, like this.
You have the freedom of choice.
Exactly, and you are welcomed.
Do you see this intrusion and penetration of mobiles into the system of education? Do you see it hampering?
It's a very big issue, I think. I would say it's a pandemic. I don't think that people realize how serious it is. You know, there is some neurological research that shows that this is as detrimental for the health, especially for the developing brain, as doing drugs. And I think that parents just are not aware that giving a cell phone, a mobile phone to children is the same as giving them cocaine or heroin, you know, so it's a really, really dangerous thing. Why? Because, you know, the cell phones, when you get likes on social media or hearts or responses, the dopamine system in your brain is activated in the same way that it's activated by taking drugs, for instance. So I think it's very detrimental, and one side effect that I can see is that it starts eating on our attention span. You know, attention span gets narrower, narrower, narrower. It's harder and harder and harder for people to read. And without reading, you know, there is no culture. You know, why is India such a great ancient culture? Yeah, definitely because of the Vedas, you know, and Upanishads and Mahabharata and Ramayana and so on. And those are all scripts. So script and reading is very important.
Right.
And unfortunately, this devices temper with our attention and ability to read.
And what's the way out? Because it's considered to be a necessary evil now.
Yes. So there are also good things, to be sure. What I try to do is, you know, I try to engage students. One thing I do is the following. I tell them, never believe what I say, because I could be wrong, you know, maybe I don't even know that I'm wrong. So use your phones for fact checking.
Okay.
Check what I'm saying, see if this matches. Sometimes I ask them, you know, can you please look up when this guy was born, because I forget, and so on, you know. And so use these devices, but use them smartly in such a way that they enhance what you are doing. For instance, now, of course, very popular things are ChatGPT or Gemini and so on. And again, those can be wonderful tools. Why? Because, you know, you are studying something and you need just one piece of information. You have to do a fact check. And it's perfectly fine to do this with the help of these tools. But it's you know, why? Because you get the information and you can continue with your studies. Previously, it could take 2 hours to go through the papers, to find the information, to verify it, and so on. So you would spend more time and you would also get distracted. Now you have the ability to quickly access the information, put it into your train of thought, and continue with it. But, of course, don't write papers with the help of ChatGPT. That's something completely different, you know. So what we have to do is we have to develop a culture of how to use those tools and see what are their benefits as well as also big dangers.
That brings me to my next question. Like in the theory of Erik Erikson, we read the first stage is trust versus mistrust. So don't you think so using these devices, ChatGPT and all the AI tools, probably is, hampering the very trust factor? Because if the child writes on his own also, I have a question, how can he write so well, you know? So probably that trust factor is being questioned upon, even if I communicate the same. So, you know, that question always remains. Is it the AI or is it me?
Yes.
So how do you take it, or how do you, confront this AI?
Yes, that's a very good question, a very big issue. So I think the following. I think that we should move from just sanctioning people to raising awareness.
Right.
You know, the good students are those who want to have their own achievements. They don't want to have the achievements just because they copy something somewhere, you know. It's the same as playing chess. You don't want to win chess by cheating with a chess robot. You want to be good yourself.
True.
So when you are developing this awareness that knowledge is a value and that trustworthiness is a value, then you get less and less of this abuse cases. On the other hand, what you as an educator can do is the following. You have to change the way how you examine the students. And, you know, if you work closely with students, then you immediately see, sometimes I say, you know, I read the paper or something that they turn in, and I say, the aura of this text and your aura, they kind of don't match. They seem to be too different. You don't seem to be as eloquent as this text is. So if you know the students and if you work with them closely, then you can immediately see if they are this is a case of plagiarism or if it's truly their own work. But of course, the problem you see, and this is a very big issue of education in general, and I don't know how we will solve this, but we have to do something about it. The problem is that education is becoming more and more and more only a service. And so you have very big numbers of students that are enrolled, and of course, if you have 250 students in one study program, you cannot work with every individual student. So the problem of plagiarism is not actually connected with people being bad. It's connected with how the whole education is structured. And because education is increasingly becoming a capitalist commodity, then you also open the doors for cheaters. And I'm also a part of the ethics and integrity in education. I'm a Slovenian delegate in the Council of Europe. So the emphasis there is absolutely on this, how to change this this whole culture, how to address this issue in such a way that basically in advance you disable these malevolent practices.
I'm sure that we are all trying to make this world a better place, because as the motto of the college stands towards a better world, I would like to tell you that at college we have this mentor-mentee session every month. So, we try to be in close contacts with the students so that we come to know them in person.
Yes.
So, like those fact checks can be done. Okay, fine, your aura is not matching with probably the content you have given as an assignment. So, this close coordination helps us to know them as an individual. So I think our principal and the college management is working strongly to advocate the mentor-mentee sessions and to be in close coordination with the students so that the real learning indeed happens. So one last question to you is, how do you take good research, build good research in the process of learning? How do you advocate that?
Yeah, this is also a very good question. So I would say in Europe, and especially in Slovenia, and I didn't see that much of this in the United States, but maybe now it's also different there. But what is happening is the following thing. In order to climb the academic ladder, you have to do more and more and more research. But this pressure on more and more and more research also means that the quality of research goes down. And I think that what we should do as academics is to really have a focus, of what we want to research. We should really be honest with ourselves, and try to do valuable research, something that we can stand, that we can sign, that is representative of us, and not just doing the research because it's done and because we need points. So this is one thing that I think is problematic. On the other hand, good research is absolutely crucial, because research is in a way learning, you learn. And how will you be able to teach if you yourself are not a learner? And this is something, that I also always try to convey to my students. So it's not the case that I'm smarter than you are. We are actually both in the same, standing in the same path.
It's a co-learning space now.
Exactly.
It's a co-learning
exactly.
space.
And I can learn something from you, or even better, we can learn something together. And the research is one way how we can learn.
So I'm so happy to have you, Tomaz, over here, and I'm sure that we'll take further steps to solidify our friendship forward under Erasmus Plus by doing good research, good collaborations and good seminars and many things in the future together. Hope you have a wonderful stay in India and India makes you visit back again and again. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much
for
everything. Thank you.
BSSS Rhythm.